I'm back. I love technology. Okay, let's get to it. We're talking about 6 things you can let go of right now so you can raise your vibration and you start to manifest abundance. And this is the last day of the Mindful Morning Challenge that is set up. It's designed to help anyone who is ready to expand and grow and unlearn all the BS that they have learned so they can step into their purpose and they can start just being real, right? Like, let's get rid of the bullshit and let's just start being real. Like, that's it. Authenticity is rising, fakeness is dropping off. So here we go. Number 1, your physical attachments. And this is something I go through every day, and I don't know if the person that's on here now was on here when my phone just kind of like went off. But we're just redoing it, and I want to make this like really quick because this is super like valuable information. This is like basically what these are is to manifest abundance and create your reality. You have to let go of who you unconsciously think you are and begin aligning consciously with who you really are. These 6 steps are the path to doing just that. All right, you ready? So number 1, let go of physical attachments. So what job, relationship, material items you're holding on to from like old relationships. What else? Let's see. Onto tradition or security for fear of nothing coming in its place. Are you attached to beliefs? Are you mad when somebody else believes something different than you? Do you feel like, are you like, you think differently? You're attached to something. Anytime you get mad or you start getting offended or whatever, you're attached to something, okay? And so beliefs, ideas, ways of being. Are you filled with assumptions of how your life should be or ought to be? So look out for that word should, okay, in your conversation today. Number 2, let go of how you think others should see you. So are you more focused on how others see you than on creating your own abundant reality? Okay, are you too busy looking in other people's backyards or whatever instead of looking in your own and staying in your lane? What thoughts come up when you're posting on social media? When you're about to post, what are the thoughts? Are you thinking, okay, is this gonna catch somebody's their attention? What are they gonna think about this? What will they wanna, or like, what are you so focused on and what is gonna make me look the best, right? Okay, are you focused on how people see you? Let go of that. 3, let go of other people's expectations. So who has voiced their expectations for what you should do or be? So such as a mom, dad, close friends, family, friends, partners. This is a chance for you to lean into your intuition. And that is also what this is doing. So when you have these attachments, then you are blocked off from the flow of your intuition and of that intuitive information. And in abundance, honestly, like more abundance coming in. It's amazing. So 4, let go of assumptions of how you think you should act and be. So how are you conditioned to think that in order to achieve X, Y, Z, you have to do A, B, C, right? There is no other way. Like, you have to do it the way of how you should act and be. Where are you working against the flow? And for me, church brings this up for me. The word church. Okay, I'm attached to something with that because I have some like religious trauma going on recently about, when we step into a church, we have to pretend to be this little saint, right? Like that's how I used to feel. And so I'm like, I can't be my authentic self and like cuss and stuff if to go into church. I'm not good enough. Okay, we start to tie it to our worth. And then 5, let go of how you believe you need to feel and think. Like, who has made you feel or how you feel like you need to feel a certain way? And this is where the camera cut off last time, is when we feel sad. Like, if you were younger and you cried and you felt sad, did someone tell you, like, you shouldn't be sad, stop crying, you shouldn't be sad? Like, that might have stayed within your system, right? Of like, if you cry, that means that you mean something other than what it is, and that's not true. Okay, and then the 6th is let go of your attachment to what is, instead of, and for me, I like to think of it more as like accept what is instead of wanting it to be different. All right, so like accepting what is and letting go of that desire for your life to look a certain way, and if it doesn't, then you're just not good enough yet. So for example, for me, if I really was attached to that, as obviously I'm not, then I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, because my life would have to be perfect And I would have to have all my shit together in order to get up here and share my story and what's worked for me to help me heal and show up in my authenticity. I wouldn't be able to do that if I was attached to these. And so these are things, though, that like we get attached to easily because we do, as human beings with egos, all right? We have an ego. So if you have an ego, you're going to attach to things, okay? You're going to get defensive. But when you can catch them and be like, and then look at them as information, like emotions are information. That's all they are. Like, we don't even have to make them mean more than that. However, if you've never heard that before, then you don't know what you don't know, which is why I do lives. That's why I'm sharing my experience and what works for my my coaching apprentices and everyone around me. Because, and this is what bothers me sometimes, is like how people are like, just let go. Just let go of that thing. Like, why are you so caught up or whatever? Like my mom, I love her to death, but she'll do this. If you knew why you were so attached to something and you could just let go, then you would let go. So how do you let go? Okay, if that's what you're saying, then let's go through this. There's a 3-step process that I take my clients through. So number 1, you acknowledge your situation for what it is. You got to step back and do not have any judgment, right? Like, don't judge your situations. They aren't good or bad. Just look at them for what they are. And so you acknowledge your current relation or your situation for what it really is and not what you want it to be. And this is where we come in and work with our third eye. Of course, we work with all of our chakras in my work and in my group and with my coaching and energy work. Chakras are the path to living an enlightened life. It just is, okay? I don't know why we don't learn it in school, because it's literally a way to get to love your life is what it is. And so starting at the root, right, of your chakra, that's where like your beliefs and your physicality to the world, your beliefs around like family and money and sex, even like your sexual beliefs and everything, and like how you are with that. The sacral also is about sexuality and creativity, but starting down there in the root, like that's how we can start to let go. We are fearful of something is why we don't let go half the time. So the first one is to make change happen. You have to have a starting point, right? You have to know where you're at before you change something. You have to know what you're doing, or else you're just going to repeat a pattern. You got to learn the lesson. You got to know where you're at. And so your ego defines its existence on what it is experiencing physically. If circumstances are not ideal, it will look for reasons why. This is when we blame others and we play victim, like, it is her fault I don't have a business yet. It is my boyfriend's fault that I can't just stay home. Why doesn't he make all the money and I just stay home and do what I want, right? Or whatever, I don't know. But we blame other people for why we don't have something, right? Thinking like we didn't have any part of it. You know, our life, that's when we're in effect. And this is one of the first things that we talk about in my group and in my work is like, are you living a cause of your life, or are you living an effect of other people's decisions and thoughts and actions and how they're treating you? And so, for example, if your parents were alcoholics, if you're living an effect of other people's situations and words and whatnot, you would be like, well, I'm going to be an alcoholic because my parents were an alcoholic. And then if you decide to say, no, I'm going to start being a cause. I'm going to be the creator of my life instead of taking it and that. You'd say, I'm not going to be an alcoholic because just because my parents were doesn't mean I have to be. And to switch that around, like I got into addiction, right? I had addictive behaviors and I didn't see that as a child. My parents didn't hang out with people like that. So it was totally because of my environment and myself and my thoughts, and it starts on a spiritual level and then it moves its way up. And we talk about that in the Soul Relaunch. So come on over there if you're interested in learning how reality is created. Okay. So number 2 is accept the truth. Like, you just accept it for what it is. You are a human being, and human beings have emotions, and there's no reason to view emotions as something that disempower you, which is what I was just saying at the beginning. It's information. Emotions are information. So judging our emotions disempowers us. If you judge an emotion, you're judging it good or bad, right? It's good or it's bad, or I shouldn't feel that, blah, 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 whatever, right? We're judging it. To accept it is to say it is what it is, and I am feeling this, and that's okay, right? So the problem arises when we attach ourselves to negative emotions and allow them to define our experiences. So Like when we're sad, it's common for us to define ourselves as sad. And here's a little tip. Here's a trick I'm about to share with you. But what if we view it as there is a lesson to be learned? But also, for me, I like to create separation. Instead of saying I am sad, or instead of saying I'm sad, I say I feel sad. Or instead of saying I'm depressed today. Instead of identifying with it, you want to say I feel depressed. And then, instead of saying I'm angry, you make me angry. You say I feel angry. Your actions are making me feel angry. Or, so it's just creating a barrier, or like, that our emotions are not us. Okay. Our thoughts are not us. We are separate from them. And so the universe is always in the process of creating disorder, chaos, and ultimately change. Change is normal. Chaos and disorder lead to growth and novelty. Could you imagine if life just stayed the same forever? Okay. How boring would that be, right? If life just stayed the same day in, day out, this is how people get into ruts and feel just like I'm missing something, because they, first of all, are afraid of change. They don't invite it in. They think that it's a bad thing. Anything that changes is bad. It messes up the whole flow of everything. No, you shift the way you're seeing it. You invite change in as an opportunity for growth, right? Because you can't grow if you're not doing anything. It's like you just can't do that. If you're not growing, you're dying. And that's truth, even scientifically. So 1, acknowledge your current situation for what it is, not for what you want it to be. 2, accept the truth. Okay, no judgment. You're just accepting it, what it is. And then 3, make the choice to let go of your past conditioned emotions, because that's what's happening, is that when we have an emotional response to something, we have been previously conditioned with that response. And so old emotions are anchors that keep you stuck in an old identity. When you make the intention to let go of everything in your life that correlates with these old emotions, which this is about stepping into the new your authentic self, you have to release those old parts of you, and even emotions are tied to those old identities, right? And that's the hardest part of change for people, is seeing themselves differently than what the world has told them who they are. All right? I mean, seriously, that's the hardest part. So when you make the intention to let go of everything in your life that correlates with these old emotions, you refuse to feed the ego self. So do this by disidentifying or disowning with the emotion you wish to let go of. All right. So like what I just said, you're not identifying with being sad. You feel sad, right? Or you felt sad in that. So what situation, there's a whole lot, right? This is why I'm a coach. This is what we do in a coaching session, is I take you down we go down through all of these questions that we can't do here in this live, right? I'm just giving you this information. And so the second part of this step is to ask yourself, am I willing to allow this emotion to come up? Because we've been shoving emotions down for so long, okay? And if you have a lot of physical problems or physical issues, it started on an energetic level. It actually started on a spiritual level, but then it goes to an energetic. And if you don't allow that emotion to come out, it manifests into dis-ease. And so are you even going to allow it to come up? Or am I willing to feel into this emotion fully without judgment? And this is it's amazing to get a coach or a mentor, a healer, to be able to do this in a safe place, because you have to be safe to do this. It says, am I willing to let go of this emotion? And when am I willing to let go of it? Also, how will I know when I have finally let it go? This is super important. Like, I didn't realize how important this was until recently, in the last 6 months probably, of knowing what it actually looks like when you reach a goal or when you let go of something. So am I okay with letting go of the people, places, and things? And so when you commit to letting go of emotions that no longer serve you, you're also letting go of people, places, and things that keep you out of alignment. Example, abusive relationships, negative social circle, expectations of others, fear of failure. So the 6 things that we just let go of earlier. And if you guys want this worksheet, please drop worksheet in the bottom, or just do that. Say worksheet. You'd like the worksheet, and I'll send it to you, because there's more stuff. There's 3 pages to this, and it literally walks you through how to do this. And I do it every single morning. And that's how I continue to show up consistently. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions about it, but letting go, in order to make space for you to actually focus on why you do what you do, and having it not tied to someone else or some, or opinions. You're not. It's you and only you. Why do you do what you do? Okay? And that's it. That's what you're to be mindful of today, is to think of your reason behind, the feelings that you have behind what you're doing, behind mowing the yard, behind writing that email, behind sending a text. How do you feel behind that stuff? And what is your deeper reason why? But until you let go of these things, you're not really going to experience the capacity that you could when you're attached to so much stuff. All right. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know your questions. Let me know if you'd like to book a 30-minute and I can go through quickly one thing. We probably get through one of these in 30 minutes. But this is the work right here. So I'm excited for anyone who wants to come over to my private group. We make some magic over there. And it's about being a leader in your life, being a personal leader of yourself. That's really what self-healing is about. It's stepping up to lead yourself. All right. So love you guys. Have a good day. Bye.